Здравствуйте, дорогие товарищи! Я хотел бы вам рассказать короткую версию этого видеоролика о том, что здесь нам рассказывают и показывают. Я давно хотел бы об этом рассказать, но вот только сейчас снизошел. Давайте коротко начнем. В этой трансляции здесь на данный момент нам показывают систему кузнечную и как это все работает и добывается. То есть как это со стороны мэра, потому что нам ранее говорили, что в городе есть мэр, он может управлять финансами и так далее. И сейчас мы будем видеть именно от лица, как это настраивает все мэр. Также мы здесь будем наблюдать именно настройки нодов и, так сказать, развитие города до второго уровня. То есть, как нам рассказывали изначально, если вы следите за этой игрой, нам показывают, как развивается город в зависимости от того, какая фракция в нем существует. И вот сейчас нам покажут именно второй уровень города. Насколько детализировано и много всего добавили в эту альфу, ну, многие говорят в комментарии. Обязательно зайдите на официальный канал, почитайте комментарии и вообще рекомендую посмотреть потом полной версии видео. Так что же непосредственно нам показывают видеоролики? На данном этапе сейчас нам показывают, что может делать мэр в городе. А непосредственно он может именно изменять рецепт, цену, длительность и количество ордеров на покупку. Рецепты определять параметры, материалы, то есть цену и так далее за ноды. Ноды могут получать ресурсы через казну с помощью налогообложения и торговых соглашений, то есть при продаже или какой-то торговле процент будет уходить в город. Ноды могут управлять материалами и хранением предметов в хранилищах. Ноды — это местная валюта, так на момент видеоролика, по крайней мере, я так понял. Агент-снабженец облегчает покупку товаров для нод, то есть есть какой-то определенный NPC, который будет, то есть как своего рода агент или менеджер, через который можно будет все это настраивать. Чтобы сгенерировать больше дохода для нодов, то есть именно больше получать в казну денег, мэр может повысить ставку до 75%, строить специализированные здания. Игроки могут также фокусировать на конкретной активности, то есть, например, на кузнечном деле. Граждане вносят ресурсы, чтобы помочь в строительстве здания. Ну и дальше мы уже будем наблюдать, как это все происходит. То есть систему узлов, если так, ну, прям банально или грубо перевести, это грубо переводится именно как раз узлы. Процесс строительства зданий в игре процедурный и универсальный. Узлы в игре имеют настраиваемые пути улучшений, специализированные здания. То есть, как я говорил уже ранее, когда будут выставлены узлы здания, то есть люди будут видеть, игроки точнее, что здесь будут строиться здания, а также можно его развивать в разные ветви. Именно на этой трансляции нам показывают постройку кузницы. Именно отражает изменения в зависимости от активности игроков. Чтобы инициировать строительные проекты, узлам требуют нодовые товары. Игроки могут приобретать товары узла посредством заказов на покупку в сокровищнице узла. Вот сейчас мы как раз видим, как происходит постройка кузницы. Ну, вообще, это очень невероятно. То есть, мы будем наблюдать, как строится город, как строится поселение с маленького лагеря. То есть, я хотел бы напомнить, что это второй уровень только города. Как нам грубый перевод говорит, второй уровень узла. И то есть получается, что как бы на 6-м уровне будет целая цивилизация, то есть огромные города. И это действительно, ну, очень-очень выглядит масштабно. Я, честно, хотел бы это, конечно, все увидеть воочию. Я надеюсь, мы когда-нибудь все вместе понаблюдаем за этим. Но то, как сейчас проделали разработчики работу, и то, как это уже выглядит на данном этапе, это просто потрясающе. Будем наблюдать в дальнейшем, и надеюсь, нас будут радовать в дальнейшем такими же видеороликами. Спасибо всем, кто зашел, кто поинтересовался этим видеороликом. То есть я максимально старался скоротать, но такое объемное видео нужно, наверное, как-то лучше готовиться в будущем. Но спасибо, что досмотрели.
different items. How do I make that purchase? So I'm just selecting these items.
Yep, you should just be able to right-click them.
Right click. Oh, there we go. Yeah. My bad. Okay, how much gold do we need for the node right now?
This is more not for you to just make a bunch of gold right away, but just to make sure we're getting more gold over time. We have enough to make the building.
Okay, let me check the node treasury. The node treasury now has 112.
That should be plenty. So now, you want to build a building, Steven?
I want to build a building.
All right, well, let's go have a nice little waltz. Well, actually, open your mayor panel here for us.
Okay, mayor panel is open.
And you're going to hit N and go to the Buildings tab.
Done.
Now, here you're going to see a list of all the buildings we currently have constructed. Since this is a pretty new node, all the buildings in this list are what we call default buildings, which means they come pre-constructed with the node. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see the empty plots.
Okay, very cool. And just to be clear, the default buildings are offering default services, as you were saying, apartments, warehouse for storage, or the caravansary for the caravans and reception of those caravans. Like, all nodes will have a base default list of services that are offered regardless of type. And then what we're doing now is we're specializing the node to cater specific services in order to draw traffic of players to us.
Correct, yeah. All the services that come default with the node, we've kind of, as a design team, deemed essential, right? We want caravans to move around the world, so everyone should have a caravansary. We want players to have storage, so everyone should have a warehouse, right?
Cool.
But that doesn't mean those default buildings can't be upgraded and specialized themselves, right?
Awesome.
But the empty plots are where you really get to start specializing your node.
All right. And I see a smithy under artisanship.
Correct.
Okay, I've selected the building.
Yep.
Oh, okay, here we go. We have a little bit of a tree here that talks about its expansions.
Yeah, so buildings can expand, and as I kind of alluded to with the default buildings, they specialize as they expand, right? So this isn't like a traditional skill tree. It's exclusionary, more like a tech tree, right? Mm-hmm. So selecting the next upgrade for it will lock out the other two paths, right? So as you get better with the building, it will continue to narrow, which allows lots of nodes to carve out lots of niches in the world.
Very cool. And so because of this, because it's exclusionary, it would be relevant for certain nodes in order to achieve a broader spectrum of upgrade potential within a particular building type to potentially build multiple of these buildings.
Yeah, exactly, right? If you want to be the home to weaponsmithing in your node, you're probably going to have 3 smithies to capitalize on slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing weapons, right? And then there are other things you can do with the policy system or with the relic system to kind of amp that up even further.
Very cool. Very cool. And so let's say, and I know we don't have this, or I'm not sure if we have this yet implemented, but let's say, for example, I as the mayor, I'm about to start this build, right?
Yep.
Do I just click on this build right now?
Yep.
All right. Oh, okay, here we go. Construction requirements. So I have the bins of stone, and it looks like we have the cords of wood.
Yep.
Citizen contribution. So the citizen contribution, that is in reference to when this construction project begins, citizens will need to come to the building and contribute resources to aid in its development.
Yeah, so unlike buy orders, you're not directly rewarded for this, right? As a player. This is kind of our way of ensuring that citizens want the thing that the mayor is asking them to do, or is spending resources on, right? So if you're a mayor and you're just like, I'm going to build a bunch of this building that no one wants, then players aren't going to contribute to it and they're not going to get built.
Good call. Very cool. All right, let me confirm this. Players will have 2 million days to provide the resources for construction. Well, that's good. I want to be a lenient mayor. And as many in the audience know, we expect Ashes to have a very long and fruitful lifespan as a product. And 2 million days is a bit on the, maybe conservative side of what we'll actually see overall. But I think it's a worthwhile time. Are we good with that? What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, 2 million days it is. Okay, where do we go to see this building?
So we've constructed it over here. If you want to follow me this way.
All right, I'm following. I don't normally run in my own town, but I will. I will run for this.
Listen, I got places to go, people to see.
People to see. You work at the behest of the mayor.
So you notice there's a gentleman here you can talk to.
Right.
And this
Does he also
is
work for me, just to be clear? He's a foreman.
He does.
Okay.
Technically, he works for the city.
I am the city. I am the law. I'm just kidding.
And this gentleman is the construction foreman, so this is where players will get to go to donate resources to the construction of a building.
Okay, all right. Let's see here. So he has nothing of nothing acquired. Well, what is it you say you do here, Mr. Construction Foreman? He hasn't collected yet any resources?
Oh, you just initiated it.
Do I have to do everything myself? Should I give him 100 of the oak log?
I think that's a fair thing to do.
All right. Let us donate. We shall donate to the foreman. Oh, it's beginning to construct. Now, Bruno and Scott did a great job with this construction, animation, and visual effects. As you will see, you're going to see a sped up version of this here, but typically, Chris talked to me a little bit about the time expectation for these types of projects, and of course how that's a variable depending on the stage of the node and the building type itself.
Yeah, so we want this to be an exciting thing. So once materials are kind of contributed to it and it's ready to finish, there's going to be any kind of variable from like 15 to 20 minutes to even a couple of days for it to finish constructing, depending on kind of the power that the building offers to the players, right?
Very cool. And James, Adam, Tristan, talk to me a little bit about how you guys go about constructing these different, more modular sets of building creation, and what it takes to kind of, master that across the multiple different cultures that we're anticipating to present within these villages.
You want to take the one, Adam?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a lot of trial and error, but it took a lot of practice to figure out what the correct size of the buildings and the plots, the walls, the doors, all those things are, and then to dial them in so that going forward, any future races, it's all kind of somewhat plug and play as long as we're making them to those specs. The big thing is the aesthetic and how that will change between races, which is still a work in progress. But like in this, for example, this one is a lot of Anglo-Saxon type architecture influence.
The Kalar, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's how it works for the most part, and it's all modular, so we can make these buildings in mostly any size we want. So it could reach all the way up to the sky, multiple floors if we wanted to. Not saying we would, but and that's the idea. So then this right here will construct those pieces for the player, one piece at a time.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I love the we previously had a different version of this in oh, look, it has little fireworks playing above the building. That's awesome. So it's drawing attention kind of to the construction. We had a version of this obviously in Alpha 1, and that was very sped up for what we were trying to accomplish there. This technique is meant to more represent that longer period of construction requirement.
And a lot of what you see right now, it's technically being generated procedurally by the tech from our tech art team, which is Bruno has been putting together, which is like basically we kind of took an approach similar to other games that you might see in like strategy games and stuff like that. So there's a scaffolding approach that kind of builds things up and forms around, and you'll see some people kind of working and hammering. It's very rudimentary at this current point in time, but yeah, no, the goal is to have it be as versatile as possible, so that when we actually need to make 100 of variations of these, we don't have to sit there and make animations one by one, which we did in the past, which gets very complicated, very expensive. But in this case, it's more of a procedural, you plug and play, like
Right.
said.
But I do
run.
I do want to clarify that we're not saying that these nodes are fully procedurally generated. It's the building aspect is, but the nodes themselves still have a handmade aspect to it.
Right. Correct. Yeah. This is all just for the construction phase, so we can kind of have things done in a way that feels natural, but doesn't really take years and years to actually complete the final product.
Right.
Awesome. Absolutely. Very, very impressive work. So, Chris, now that we have constructed this smithy, what are we doing? Do you have a little duckling following you?
The ducklings are very aggressive right now.
I have one following me right now.
Oh my god.
But that can be fixed.
No.
Do it.
No. Do not kill that. Do it now. Do it. Do not kill that duck. Oh my god.
Oh god.
What are
God.
you
It's very
doing?
aggressive.
What are you doing?
You
Did you just
monster.
murder that duck?
You
You
monster.
just murder our tax rate?
Oh my god, you can't kill innocent animals over your disgruntledness tax rates.
I would say that's more for food for the village, but
And, rebellion. I'm trying to...
What have you done? You can't even eat that. There's not valuable meat on this creature yet. That was just.
I just got a hunting certificate, so...
Did you really? Oh no. Oh, you're
no.
dead. Well,
oh no! Oh
Wow.
no.
the goddess of creation herself has smote you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right,
It needs to be done.
Chris, what are we gonna do at this smithy?
Well, what do you want to do? We can do some armor smithing. We can do some weapon smithing. I honestly think after that heinous act against that duck, you really need some better weapons to defend the beautiful creatures of this node.
Agreed. I am so angry. I could just scream.
Oh,
Sorry.
well, over here is the weaponsmithing station.
All right, cool. I was looking at this a little bit earlier. Whoops, I turned off my UI. All right, what do we have?
Well, I hear the artisanship team hooked you up with the ability to make a blood sword.
Oh, do I have materials? Oh, I do have some materials. What should we do? Oh, the Sandals of Holding bag. It's like infinite space. That is a GM bag. Okay, so I do have some materials. What do we want to do with this material?
Well, do you want a blood sword or not?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do I want a blood sword? Is a blood sword good? Is it better than what I already have? Where is the blood sword? Crystallized blood sword. Okay, I see.
It's going to be a pretty spicy sword.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, let's try this. What are we going to do here? So I already have the materials for it. So I just go to craft one quantity. Hold on, it says I can't craft this.
Yes, you got to add your mold to it.
Oh. I have selected my iron weapon mold. And I am using that mold and crafting. Oh, I do have a crystal blood sword now. I shall rule with a mighty fist. Let me equip this. Well, do I actually have... Oh, I do have it. Oh, okay. That's pretty sweet. I like that. Yeah, it looks great. Very cool. Alright, so now that we have constructed this building, There are also a number of upgrade paths that players can utilize to specialize the building further. We previewed that in the tech tree for the building, and each building comes with that sort of customizable path of upgrades that are possible, and those continue to give the node a higher specialization, which makes it relevant for player traffic.
Right, and the idea with that too is no one node can do anything, right? So it kind of is leaning into this idea that you need to travel your goods around the world and go to a lot of places to do a lot of things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is a beautiful, I mean, gosh, this is just, I love the atmospherics. I love the more nature-oriented aspects of the interior of the node. Now, this node, Tristan and Adam, James, this has a bit more topography than what we were seeing in Alpha 1. Talk to me a little bit about the types of node templates and footprints that we are leveraging with the design of these villages and cities.
Yeah, so there should be kind of a handful of different types that you'll experience in the world, and they all have their different benefits. So in this case, we kind of have a plateau landscape layout for this one. It's not like you said the flat landscapes that we've done in the past. We've also got ones that will be like rivers flowing through it, and as well as like being nudged up against, say, like a body of water or like a cliff face sort of style. So in this case, this is one of the more basic versions that you'll see for the current layout styles that we have. But yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, the node itself will have its own type that's best suited to develop into. I think this one's an academic node.
Yeah, this one is academic. So I see we have kind of a placeholder node type building here.
Yeah.
That's the town hall.
Oh, is that the town hall? I apologize. This is the placeholder one over here, the kind of citadel looking one, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, that is a work in progress. So we have that standing in for now.
Beautiful. So this is kind of where all the activities take place for, citizenship interactions, the paying of these dues, the opportunity for players to kind of interface with their local government, and the custom quest arcs that are available based off of the surrounding POIs. Up here is kind of the city center, so to speak.
Right.
Right. This is where elections happen, right? Normally.
Normally.
when you don't GM command yourself mayor.
Wow, unbelievable. I just sat down. You guys told me to GM myself mayor.
There's also a place where punishments could happen.
Where's that? Are there like gallows over here or something?
Yeah.
Are you threatening the mayor?
Yeah, is that the type of mayor that I am? Do I just have like public hangings or something?
I mean, if you're that type of mayor, you could just hang anyone.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
depends upon who messes with the ducklings, that's all.
Yep.
I gotta go.
I noticed that we have a bit of homage that we're paying to the excuse me, to the windmill monster that many players experienced in our pre-alpha testing.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys remember that? That was like 2 days straight of us getting stuck at a loading screen back in like 2017. That was a fun time. I love the windmill.
A mimic the size of a windmill would be pretty.
I think we actually did turn. So at some point we updated that image to be a windmill monster that was eating pre-alpha players when they tried to join.
Yeah. That was great.
It was really good. Oh, it's beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. So, you know what? I would like to thank each of you for showing our players the update to nodes. This is one of many updates that players will be seeing over the course of the next time till Alpha 2. And as it relates to kind of the systems design of these nodes, showcasing the core loops with the mayors helping to initiate buy orders, as well as commissions in order to generate these node commodities, these node inventory items, by which then the node utilizes to kick off certain either events or service building constructions that the that create an additional loop for players to participate in. I think that this is very exciting, that the node is absolutely beautiful and it hits the aesthetic that we want. But what's most important is to get your guys' feedback in the community, you guys as our players, giving us your thoughts about the visual fidelity that these villages are representing. You'll have an opportunity to see additional node stages as we progress. This is a lot of work that the environment team has been doing a phenomenal job, in my opinion, in creating. But you guys need to give us your thoughts. You like what you see here? What can be done better? And then we are going to chat a little bit more about some of the system changes that we have introduced as part of our road to Alpha 2 as it relates to the nodes. So yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Is this nodes part 4 or part 5?
I don't know. No. This is you're gonna kill me.
I hope you're okay.
This is not yet nodes part 4, but this is getting close.
Okay.
No, you guys did a great job.
I'm sure everyone will get that reference there.
Yes, exactly. But Chris and I will be joining you guys in just a moment to talk a little bit more in detail about these systems in just a moment. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.